You don't give a fuck whether you land or not, just let him go. Don't worry about it, you're gonna be a shitty fight, but you gotta let punches go. Last round. You can't wait until they get, if you miss it, bang, go right back. And don't take 30 seconds to start another punch.
Alexander, I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack Dempsey, there's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw, there's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable.
Look at that combination. And the
I kept telling him he had no punch, he couldn't hit, he's swinging like a sissy, he's missing. Let me see your box. I hadn't started dancing yet. A tremendous rotational first round, and Hearns gets hurt. Hearns got stunned. Hackle was stunned early in the round. Great first round. Incredible. Perhaps one of the best in middleweight history.
That black guy, he hits hard.
Fire!
Welcome everybody to another episode of Hands of Fire Boxing Talk. I'm your host, George Dampeer, writer and reporter for RealCombatMedia.com. And if you're wondering what happened to the other podcast that's supposed to be going on, this is it, the Kovalev Ward preview, prediction, fight week podcast. We already did one yesterday, so this is your daily dose, so lucky you. And got a nice little special guest with us, special co-host guest, other than my original co-host, Eben Dawud.
215, man. Y'all already know. Let's talk some boxing. Dawud in the building.
And our special guest, fellow admin, and some loser that just begged to come on the show for some reason. He really wanted to just get his voice on here. So I decided, why not? It's Thanksgiving, give to the needy. And so we added our boy Julius.
All right, what's good, y'all? Welcome to the motherfucking relay with George Dampeer and Ibn Al-Rasul and myself.
So, like I mentioned before, this is the Kovalev Ward focused podcast. This is just mainly the whole topic that we're talking about. I'm going to try to keep it to this, and we're probably going to slightly dig into this Triple G, rumor. So we'll touch on it lightly. But this Kovalev Ward now, we're finally here. It seemed like it came pretty quick, didn't it?
Yes, it did. And a lot of people were saying that it wasn't going to happen.
It seemed like it was just, just not too long ago. We were seeing Alexander Brand swinging for the fences, falling on his face. And Kovalev coming on with a Coogee sweater.
Word, he got the nice sweaters, B. Cole got the nice Russian Coogee, B. You know something about it, man? That whole situation when they was trying to say they thought that fight wasn't going to happen, I just found it funny because when you think about HBO and that deal that they offered Andre Ward, the whole point was to fight Sergey Kovalev. And exactly. Virgil Hunter, he was real adamant and my guy's going to move up when I'm ready to let him move up, and he's not going to fight nobody serious until he's back with me to that 175. It takes about a year. Mm-hmm. He told everybody what he was going to do. So when people was talking about that fight wasn't going to happen, for real, I was just like, y'all just naysayers that wanted to continue to say something negative about Andre Ward because the inactive excuse that had been out the window since the VP fight.
And I never understood. I never understood that because that's a guy who's outright saying what he's trying to do, which is exactly what the public wants. And then there's just people who we're just never really going to be fans of him in the first place. So I guess it's really no place to even take their credit. And,
that's all it was. I mean, because they laid out the plan. The plan was a 3-fight deal that ends with Sergey Kovalev. They basically told everybody what they was going to do, and motherfuckers sitting around wondering, well, why is Ward fighting Alexander Brand? Didn't you just hear the fucking news already? They already said what this shit was going to be. You know what I'm saying? They said this shit. Not only that, he fought Kovalev mandatory. I'm like, damn, what else do y'all want? What do y'all want from that? Kovalev mandatory. Kovalev's the guy. I'm going to fight your mandatory. You'll not fight him. I got it. You see what I'm saying? And exactly. And he handled that for that man. You ain't got to worry about Sully. I got that. You chill. Yeah. Get some Isaac Salemba. Just chill right there. Yeah, because I don't want nothing to happen to you. Right. I don't want nothing to happen to you. You chill out. You see what I'm saying? I'll be there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, with that being said, then, I guess that kind of goes into the narrative of this fight. We got this is a pretty important fight this weekend we got. It's not really just a big event that we typically have for these fights. This is a big fight or a big fight because of what it means in pound-for-pound rankings, which if anybody takes a certain title or I don't know how they perceive it to be any different than an actual world champion, but, just to say it.
Some people see it as the fight for the number one pound spot. I was one of the people at first that was like, whoever wins this is number one, but it is hard to ignore what Roman has been doing. His last time out, he fought Quadras, man. Like, come on, man. Like, he stepped up, and then he fought the blood and guts, man.
Yeah, I don't think he. I don't think he should lose his spot for this. Right?
From here on out, but I don't know. Like, do you just put Ward ahead of him?
I don't think so.
I mean, nah. It's just favorable to have bigger fight. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this might be like people might feel like this is American bias or whatever, but it's just like more favorable because it's a bigger guy, and we kind of like know the competition that the bigger guys fight more than we would know. So, like, what I'm saying is the average guy, he doesn't know too much about Estrada. Much about Valoria.
And I would understand that.
That's true. What Roman was actually doing. I mean, we know what Roman was doing, but everybody doesn't know. So they don't look at put it like this. Go ahead. What I was saying was they'll look at this fight and they'll say, well, he just beat Sergey Kovalev. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He can go ahead and Roman could go beat it now, and they'll be like, well, Nui, who the hell is Nui? But, he beat Kovalev. You see what I'm saying? Or he beat Ward. You see what I'm saying? They would just be like, who the hell is Nui? Like, it's crazy. Like, that's how it is.
Well, I guess that being said then, because that's where really the direction I was trying to take this number one pound-for-pound statement was really a matter of, who has more pressure placed upon them on this fight, do you think? Julius, you want to take a crack at it?
I mean, I would say, if personal opinion, I think Ward is being expected. He's got more pressure because they view him as the most skilled. They viewed him as the most skilled behind Floyd Mayweather, and they held him to that standard. And they've been attacking him ever since. If Kovalev loses this fight, it ain't that bad. But if Ward loses this fight, you don't want to be awake the next morning because the shit talking is going to be out of this motherfucking world. Good. They not going to let nobody live it down. Motherfuckers been talking shit for months, apologizing for shit, apologizing for Brand, apologizing for Paul Smith. Like, it goes way back. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers been shitting on Ward the whole time. And this is the guy who they had as the number 2 pound for pound behind Floyd Mayweather. So I think the pressure's on Ward.
What about you, Evan?
It got to be on him. Not only that, he ain't lost a fight since he was 12, man. You know what I'm saying? He won a gold medal at light heavy, even though he never was a light heavy. They said, Virgil said he was eating breakfast and drinking Gatorade the morning of the fights just to make sure that he was on weight, that he was over the limit. So he was never a light heavy, but he's performed up here. So the thing about it is, like, it's definitely on Dre more than it's on Sergey. If Sergey loses, it's okay because you know what? You tried it. But with Ward, like, if you lose, it's like, yo, you got knocked off the mountain.
You see, that's where
you got knocked off the mountain.
That I kind of surprisingly disagree with both of you guys because I say this with basically just because what Ward has already achieved in his career. He's at a point where this is really just a jewel in the crown, in my personal opinion. So so the fact that you guys say he loses and the backlash he'll get among the fans, he can always just turn his phone off. You know what I mean? He doesn't need that. That's a problem he doesn't even really face anyway. Kovalev, on the other hand, is a guy that's perceived off this statuesque persona, cold-blooded Russian monster, and he loses that aura and in a climate where he could possibly still face Stevenson, I mean, that could be crushing to him. that could do some that would take some rebuilding for him to go on.
Like, your claim to fame, right? Because your claim to fame is like 50-year-old Bernard Hopkins, and like what's his name from Canada? Pascal. What's his name from Canada? There you go, Pascal. And that's basically
Mohammedi. Don't forget about Mohammedi. That he beat the shit out of him too.
Yeah, Mohammedi. But what I'm saying is, you that staple. You don't have that staple. Andre Ward is a real staple. Bernard is a half a staple because of his age. You know, it's a half a staple. But somebody had to knock him off the mountaintop. That's why I give Kovalev credit to beat Bernard. Because if you didn't beat Bernard still be running around with them straps and shit.
Ain't that the truth?
Somebody had to get him, dog, and he be in shape and all that. So like for real, like, you know, like somebody had to get him. You know what I mean? So I respect it.
Now, you got to put it like this a little bit, though. Put it like this a little bit, Ibn. The thing I see about Kovalev is Kovalev ain't crushed Chilemba. The backlash of that wasn't as bad as it should have been because people ain't holding him to that standard. You ain't crushed Chilemba, man. All right? At the end of the day, you ain't beat the shit out of that man the way we saw you beat the shit out of Pascal. People ain't really jump on your back the way they jumped on Ward over that brand shit. Talk about it.
No, man, they didn't. You know what, though? Because that's like, it's the double standard because Andre Ward is held to, like you were saying earlier, he's kind of held to, like, that Floyd Mayweather-esque, like, standard where, like, we expect a great outing every single time, and anything less than, like, a great outing is a bullcrap outing. Even though that's, like, unrealistic because the guy can have a fight, and he didn't lose a round, you know what I'm saying? Not a round, but, you know, but
not a round.
Still being criticized. Like, how do you win every round of a fight and people find something bad to say about you? They hold you to a crazy type of standard. Exactly. Like, you know, like I didn't really criticize Kovalev too bad for Chilemba. My thing was like Chilemba was able to like do some things. He was able to do some nice things with his jab. But like he's a wiry guy. He's just a tough outer. He's a tough out. So, you know, like you did what you had to do. It wasn't like a fight where you were in trouble and we thought you were getting ready to lose. So I didn't have to say to him.
But you want to another thing, a reason why I say it's added pressure to Kovalev is that Chilemba performance. Him and John David Jackson go back to that fight as a blessing in disguise because they say that's when he, realized that, certain things that he was already lacking with, like I guess in intensity and training and just, other ways to look about, dealing with a mobile fighter. So even with that applied now, so that's actually an added excuse not to lose now. You know what I mean? Like you can say that had that been the first time go around, like, oh man, Kovalev's never faced a guy this mobile or this fleet of foot or this defensively skilled. It's like, no, if he actually did and he struggled, and the first time we weren't too high on him and thinking that it was a reason for concern on him not winning this fight. And now that he loses his fight, you can go back on that now and say, well, looks like you didn't learn.
Right.
So.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way, Jules. Let's put it this way. It's not just centered around the Kovalev fight, but a lot of the Ward apologists have created this atmosphere where Ward is untouchable. You can't see, you can't sneeze in Andre Ward's direction without somebody getting upset. So it's the truth though. The inactivity, in my humble opinion, warranted criticism because you say and people say that you're the second best fighter in the world. Now the first, that Floyd is gone. Now the first, if we're going to go by the succession. And we don't see you fight. Motherfuckers been apologizing for you for months, years. They've been apologizing. The fans created that atmosphere where Ward is held to a different standard than other fighters because you're number 2 behind Floyd Mayweather and you wasn't fucking fighting nobody. We saw you fight Paul Smith. You tried to get Rohan Murdoch. That garnered a lot of criticism. That fight got rejected. And I think he redeemed himself with the Sullivan Barrera fight, but it went right back to the bullshit when he ended up with Alexander Brand. So he's held to a different standard. He's held higher than other fighters.
It was like people wasn't really trying to jump in there with Andre Ward. You got to understand something. First of all, people don't want to fight him short notice and none of that. He's dangerous. And the thing about Andre Ward is a lot of the times that people looking at him as like a fighter moving up, they don't realize how like physically strong he is because he's not a knockout puncher, but he's not a knockout artist. So you don't look at him as a power guy, but he's a strong guy. You know what I mean? In terms of inside fighting, clinching, so on and so forth. The thing about it, so when you look at
he got
like
that he got that mixed boy strength.
like, yo, he's like a dangerous cat. So dudes didn't really want, like, Sully's the courageous dude. That's what it was about. Sully was the dude that had heart like that. Like, you know what? I'll fight his ass. And then, like, you got them sent him in. I felt like Abel was sent him in as the scout, too. That's another conversation.
Dude, look at what's on the table for Sully. I don't even think about it like that. Sully got two choices. I could go out there, I could fight Sergey Kovalev and get my ass whooped. Or I could fight Andre Ward and get paid, and he's moving up in the division, so there's no potential injuries that might be career-ending, you know, as opposed to fighting Sergey. I don't know. You know, I look at it that way. Like, Sully took Ward because Ward, in that instance, was the path of least resistance. You don't want Sergey Kovalev punching you in your face, and you're not elusive enough to get away, so that's likely that's what's going to happen. He's going to punch you right in your fucking face. Can't do nothing.
Yeah, he was definitely going to punch Sully in the face, and Sully is not fast.
All right, guys.
Think about it this way. Ward scored a knockdown in that fight.
All right.
Scored a knockdown in that fight.
Guys,
so, you got to get him that. They're like, if Ward don't, I'm not saying Ward is a pillow puncher. I'm saying Ward don't hit as hard as Kovalev. Ward was able to knock you down, exploiting the flaws in your game. Sergey Kovalev, if he caught you, might have been a little bit worse. So, yeah, think about that shit.
All right, guys, that brings me on to the second part of this discussion, where I like to make a little draw play of how the fight can possibly go. So basically, just two situations for each fighter, and how each of them could possibly lose. This fight, for me, I still haven't even really come around on a solid pick. I mean, I'm leaning toward Ward still to win it. And it was brought up on the group today, and I had brought into question, and I didn't think it seemed to be so outrageous because we've talked about it on the podcast, Evan, and, you know, actually it was from an article, quote from Paulie Malignaggi that brought up the point that, like, do we know how good Andre Ward's chin really is? And I thought that was an interesting thing to actually talk about, honestly, just because of the fact that, like, how do we perceive the power punches that he's faced? And we've came around that, who was it, Froch, and who else would you really consider? Mikhail Kessler, really power puncher.
You know, as far as 175, you had the Sully fight. I'm not calling him a power puncher, but he was the number one contender at the weight class. He's a solid guy. He does, if anything, that's what he can do. He can hit you with a little something.
Oh.
So when you look at the way Andre would,
a good question. It's not my fault. It's a good question because honestly, I didn't think about that until George just said it. I didn't see that excerpt from Paulie, but that's actually a really good question. It's a really good fucking question because I don't think Ward has ever faced a puncher with the size of a punch that Kova got. So that's a really good fucking question.
You know, and that's why, and that's why I was trying to make it seem to be so hard to come around on an idea on this fight, is because while I can say that Ward can do everything technically better than Kovalev, and really the thing that holds Kovalev into this fight is his awkwardness and his power, and that, you know, what he does, the one thing he does really well is he's really good at it, which is, you know, fight in a straight line. But it was hard for me to come around on that idea, is because how long can we see Andre Ward lasting around if he, for one, which was what I was looking through these prior fights, you know, with the Paul Smith and Sullivan Barrera and, you know, now Alexander Brandt, what I was looking in these fights were, you know, just the frequency of how many times he gets hit and what type of punches he was getting hit with. And often at this new weight, it seems like he's clearly not the same Ward that, you know, we've grown accustomed to. And he's definitely lost his step. So
He's
one,
still
I
only
put
landing one punch at a time, though.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying though. So can we count on the fact that it's going to be one at a time, and count on his defensive ability to make that less frequent of of it happening?
Because Sergey Kovalev is not the fastest fighter, I'm not sure that he can land combinations, right? Yeah, I'm not saying that he doesn't have. Because I don't really see people land combinations on Dre like that. It's like he's like Floyd in that instance where it's though like you land one, like you miss one, you land one, and the other one you touched them, but you didn't really get to hit them. So I mean, with that being said, when you go through that for a little while, it depends whether it happens early or late. Because when you go through it a little while early, then the punches, they don't have the same intention because you're not sure if you're going to land. So basically what I'm saying is Kovalev ain't throwing them as hard as he can every time because he's not landing them the way he needs to be confident enough to let them go the way he needs to. You see what I'm saying?
Remember the scenario, though, Eben. What could make Ward lose this fight? And I think
got to get knocked out or he got to get knocked down a couple times.
But how it's going to happen? I think if Kova goes to the body, he might have a better chance. If he tries to headhunt Ward, he's going to come up short. If he goes to the body, he might be able to slow him down, get him late. But that's the only way I see it happening. To my prediction for this fight is not Sergey Kovalev winning this fight. Ward is going to beat him to the punch. Ward got the faster hands of the two. He's the naturally lighter guy. Got speed on his side. He's already elusive. Ward, Kova's not going to get the chance to hit this guy clean. But if we're talking about the scenario where Ward loses, that's the only way I can see him losing this fight. If Kova goes to the body with a vicious body attack, slows Ward down, takes something off of him, and gets him late. But like I said, that to me, that seems far-fetched because I'm actually very confident Ward's going to win this fight.
Well, I guess you kind of already lead it into the final session of this whole thing is the prediction. But I guess I'll get more specific and say, how does this fight play out to you from beginning to end?
Ward will be too close or he'll be too far away. For the most part, that's what you're going to see. Because that's how he fight. Like Carl Froch even told you. And that's what I see because what I think about is Sergey Kovalev is a great mid to long range fighter. He punches very hard. He's a hard puncher. But he's not an inside fighter. Dre is a good inside fighter. So when you're in mid-range, you got to step in and smother, or you got to step away and get out the way. And I think Dre would be like better off stepping in and smother. That's what he does naturally. He's better at smothering your work. I thought when I saw the Sully fight, I thought I saw him trying to like pull the chair, like in terms of like I saw him trying to make Sully miss like some on the outside. But like I said, like by nature, Ward is better like when he goes in and he smothers your work. And then he like ties up one arm and he's like real good on the inside with that one loose arm a lot of the times. He got you tied up with the left and he's working the right. And then like he pushes off with the left and throws like sneaky hooks as he pushes you away and all of that. So too close or too far, and I got Ward winning a tough it get gritty at times, but I got him like winning the boxing match. And less than Kovalev can put him down or like knock him down multiple times. Then that in essence I could see Kovalev winning the fight. But that's the only way I could really see him win. I'm actually like 75-25 Ward.
Exactly. That's how I feel like Ward. I feel like Ward's got better punch placement, and I feel he's got speed on his side. You put those two together, that means not only can he place punches as good as you or better than you, he can do it faster than you. And he can do it on the inside. You're not going to be able to get the kind of pop from them punches if Ward plays you close to the chest. He did that shit with Sully, and that's how he got that knockdown. That was off the ropes. Right. Sully was right in his motherfucking face, and Sully wasn't doing nothing. Not saying that Sully is comparable to Kova, just Ward's tactics. He could play Kova close to the chest and not get hit with nothing nasty because Kova need to put something on them punches, and he can't put it. What he needs to put on them punches if Ward's right in your fucking face. And if he's in your face, he's probably beating you to the punch. He's probably peppering you up with all kinds of shots. So ultimately, I think Ward's going to win this fight, and he's going to win it close to the chest. And I'm real I actually think Garcia Thurman is tougher the heads in this shit. I got Ward win this thing. I'll put money right now. Whoever the fuck want to leave something in the comments, man. Ward's going to win this fight. I haven't got no doubts about that shit.
Hey, man, it seems like that's pretty much the safest way to go, really. I mean, like I said, Ward does everything technically better than Kovalev. And the defensive accolades that we give Floyd Mayweather is what he does on the outside. And I think really Andre Ward does what Mayweather does on the outside that he does on the inside. Like he's like mastered a way to just smother, and like you said, Evan, like he finds a way to out bully a bully, and I find like that he like it seems like he gets like he kind of gets a kick out of that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if you watch the My Fight thing, it's like he kind of like compares it to going up to like a new school and challenging the bully to a fight. Yep. You know what I mean? And
it's a good analogy.
It's a perfect analogy.
That's the Irish in him, man. That's the tough Irish guy in him.
He got a dog in him. He gonna put punches together on Cova, believe me. He gonna put punches together.
Yeah, so that's why I say he's gonna get hit too. So that's what at least throws some doubt in my mind, is because he'll get some success with that, but I mean it's not like he's gonna come completely unscathed. You know, so I mean, maybe so in a way that he goes to a unanimous decision victory. I don't see it out the realm that he might suffer a knockdown late in the fight. But I mean, I would say it's a comfortable win for him though. Toward the end though, and in a slightly pretty rugged fight. I'd say early. I say it gets pretty competitive early, and once there's a steady system and a good flow, and I guess an understanding of each other, I see Ward doing the better of the two.
Yeah. I mean, mid-rounds, I feel Ward's going to establish himself. Mid-rounds, it's already going to be clear. You know, he been done, figured him out. He knows how fast he is, knows what he's trying to do.
Exactly. I
don't got no doubts about that shit. Like, he mid-rounds, we going to know. As far as knockdowns, I don't even see Kova knocking this guy down, man. Because he can get inside and outside at will. He can work outside, he can work inside, he can work mid-range. Kova's got to get some kind of pop on them punches, and he needs to be in a certain place to do it. Whereas Ward, he could work from wherever the fuck you are, man. It don't matter where you are. He could work. So I'm real confident in this fight, man. If Ward lose, I'm not going to say shit for him.
No, I won't say he won't lose, but I do say there's a chance, though, he probably doesn't look as good as we're all expecting, though. I do say that, though.
That's possible.
Well,
because let's see that he's kind of underwhelming with other performances, though.
That you expect him to look like great, you can't really say that because you don't know what he's going to have to do to neutralize that mid-range attack.
Yeah, if anything, that actually could
good master of distance.
That could up his performance, right?
He's good at that. So what I'm saying is, you don't know what it's going to look like for Ward to get a hold on that shit, man. That shit don't always look good trying to get a hold on a nigga like that. Well, I apologize, but a guy like that, it don't always look like formidable, man, because it's going to be clinching at times, and especially in trying to figure it out. They're going to come back talking about the hold that, because he's going to hold, he's going to have to. Because when he step up in there, because when you get in the mid-range, you're going to have to go back, you're going to have to go in, and it's going to be split second. And more than likely, it's going to be safer to go in. And you can't take no chances with that type of strength and power.
There's a good chance of that.
Gets in any kind of trouble, any kind of trouble he runs into, we're going to tie him up, start all over. But, I mean, I'm banking on that happening, though. I'm banking on that. Like, he'll tie him up. If Kova starts to let his hands go, he'll tie him up before he decides to just fuck around with him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we're kind of toward the tail end now, though.
Real fast, because
Go ahead.
Want to say this. I want to get this out. It's a big misconception about like a power puncher and who's stronger. And a lot of people are going to be shocked because you're going to find out that Sergey Kovalev is not stronger than Andre Ward. I just want to say that. Okay.
Ooh, that's a bold statement. That's
Ain't nobody ain't been stronger than Andre Ward, bro. Nobody.
I'm glad he interrupted me for that. I'm glad he interrupted me
Ain't
for
nobody been
that.
stronger than that Joker. Yeah, that Joker's strong, man. Ain't nobody stronger than him. He don't go out like that. He don't go out like that. It's a difference between power punching and being stronger and controlling the man in the clinch and all that. It's a difference. We're gonna find out. Watch.
It's the punch you don't see, man. The punch you don't see. It's a little something added to it because you didn't see it. And I think that's kind of what you mean. I think that's what you're getting at. That Ward got more pop than people give him credit for, but I attribute that to his skill set and not his actual power.
That's a good point.
You don't expect that shit.
Not just
That's a good point.
But look, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about physical strength. Listen to me. They're going to be tied up. They're going to be up on each other. Andre Ward is going to be the stronger man in those situations. Watch. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when we get tied up and who's going to control the footwork of this quick and who's going to turn who's going to dizzy who and all of that. Who's going to do that? It's going to be Ward. I'm telling you what.
Yeah, I'm just excited.
I'm telling people
Yeah,
right
I'm
now,
just.
we're going to come back to this fight.
Yeah, I'm ready for this fight, man. That's all I know. I'm so ready for this fight. Got a lot of arguments to fucking end here. Got a lot of debates to put to sleep. Put him in the backyard with the family dog.
Motherfuckers gonna be mad, man. I'm telling you, they're gonna be mad. I mean, I've seen it. I see it.
Well, I mean, I think we got the time. If Evan can stop dialing, we can possibly get into this Triple G negotiations. That was a rumor this week. I mean, we're going to slightly touch on it only because that this is only a rumor, nothing completely solid. This probably isn't even officially confirmed. I mean, there's a quote from Hearn as to how serious the talks are. But a Triple G versus Froch fight could possibly be imminent. And it could possibly take place at 172.
And I'm gonna let Julius. Can I go first? And I'm gonna let y'all
go ahead, man. Go ahead,
everybody know, because I'm known for being critical of Golovkin, so I wanted to come back to you guys, right? So this is what I'm gonna say. First of all, my first thing is this: you said that you wasn't gonna fight Andre Ward because he was inactive all that time, and you know, and then you said your middleweight supremacy. But then you said that you go to 54 for Pacquiao. You said you go to 54 for Floyd. You said that you were the can man from 54 to 68. You didn't want to take nobody at 68. And now you talk about possibly fighting at 70 or 72. And you talking about Froch. And Froch ain't fought in 2 years. Now, it's like, why Froch? You know what I'm saying? Why Froch? Why Froch now? I'm like, this is like hypocritical, and you just got finished being hypocritical about the Kell Brook thing because you said Kell Brook was too small, and then you spun around, you fought Kell Brook, and you made his ass come up to 60 too. You know, and he came from welterweight, not even 154. All of those situations and all of those contradictions. Now that I got it out the way, and I said that he's contradicting himself, I want to say that I look at this a little bit objectively because when you look at the fact that he can't get Canelo in there right now, and you start to ask yourself, well, where's he going to go and what's he going to do? He could be trying to see, you know.
You're already going to exactly where.
Yeah, where
you're going exactly where I was going to.
68 and 75.
Because
you're talking about Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward at 75. They right there. He ain't going. He's not going to go. He ain't going.
Yeah, he ain't going to go all the way up there. Well, you went too far. You went way too far, buddy. That wasn't where I was talking about. I was just saying that he might be just going to England.
Y'all thinking about Miguel and all of them. Me too. Just hear me out. Me too. But what I'm saying is, they not even talking about 68. They talking about 70 to 72. That's what they talking about.
Yeah.
That's what was said.
All right. Now, I'm going to hit you with the shit. right now. The shit is okay. You fight Froch at 170. That's off the couch, though. No tune-up. Off the couch. Froch ain't fought nobody in 2 motherfucking years. So why the fuck would you pick Froch now? Maybe it's because a couple of months ago, y'all was looking at James DeGale. And y'all know James DeGale about to fight that unification fight with Badu Jack. So maybe y'all figure, hey, we could fight Carl Froch off the couch because that's good for the money across the pond. And then we go fight the winner of Badu Jack versus James DeGale. This could be a glorified tune-up fight, you know what I'm saying, with a marquee fighter, because we know it's not that many money fights out there. You got Canelo, but he pussyfooting around. It's nobody at 168 with the kind of marquee value that Golovkin's looking for. This guy's old. You know what I'm saying? He gets prostate exams. He's closing in on 35. Yeah. So he got to get paid. Canelo don't get you paid. Froch might get you paid.
And it definitely works. It definitely
can't make 68 right now because he's off the couch. Okay. All right. 172. Loeffler said 170. Now, it's more like I'd give him a pass for fighting Carl Froch off the couch if it's en route to Badu Jack and James DeGale. That's the only way you get a pass, because if you just fighting Carl Froch to be fighting Carl Froch off the couch, that's another weak source move. That's another one. You came from Dominic Wade to fucking Kell Brook, and now you fighting Carl Froch off the couch. What the fuck, fam? Like, really, what the fuck? Yeah. But that's why I said the only way he gets a pass is if you en route to somebody at 168. Other than that, you shouldn't be looking at Carl Froch. You shouldn't be talking about Carl Froch, because he ain't fought nobody in 2 motherfucking years. You already had 2 lighter touches. I ain't knock you for Dominic Wade. That was a mandatory. We know it was supposed to be Turiano, but he got hurt. They put Wade in his place. Now you fought Kell Brook. They replaced him.
You know what?
Then you fought Kell Brook in an ain't about shit fight, and now you want to have another ain't about shit fight? Yeah.
You know
you
what?
You said Kell Brook was too small, too. Don't forget that. Because you said Kell Brook was too small about like a month and a half before that shit, man.
Exactly.
You want to know what the big problem with Golovkin and them is? I'm not going to lie, man. I got to say this shit. Because the problem is this, is that they try to play like they're not about business and they about like the sincereness of being true champions. They try to act like they're about true championism and shit. You know what I mean? When at the same time, you just doing what everybody else doing. Just tell the truth, and I can expect that from you. You the way you talk, I expect you to be like on greatness all the time, and like that's not what we be seeing. You know what I'm saying? That shit. It makes people criticize.
See, and you're
always saying some bullcrap. Abel said that. It's always talking out of his
let's not do that to Abel. Don't do that to Abel, because Angel Garcia talk way more shit than Abel. So let's not.
And more incoherent shit.
Trainers talk shit.
And more incoherent than any shit.
Angel Garcia talk shit. Abel talk shit. It's okay to talk shit. He's a trainer. It's okay.
Yo, can I say one thing though? It's a difference between talking shit and talking out your head. Don't tell me that you the cameraman from 154 to 168, but you won't do nothing. You won't do nothing out of your comfort zone.
Yo, but you know what? We're doing. But hold on. Wait, well, hold on. We're doing all this though. This is just an article. We're like everybody. I know. Listen, I know. I know what it's already drudging up. It's drudging up all those old. It's almost like this past election, man. It's just drudging up all them old feelings, them old feelings you had. It's just drudging up all them old feelings you had, and you're just shitting it out there, and nobody even knows what the fuck's going on. Yo, so what I'm saying though is like it's just an article, man, and yes, I know they like you were actually going slightly on it. Dawud was about the idea that they try to not to act like they're so business driven, but they definitely make business moves, and I see this probably as one of them, really, because remember, the funny thing is I was looking. It's funny, I came across this news this morning, really just being introduced to it on the chat, really. Like, you guys were coming to me about all this shit, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, because, you guys were already in the middle of a debate about, man, like, he's doing this, and people try to act like Triple G doesn't do this, like already in the mix of, like, how, Triple G goes about his businesses and all his old fights and his record and all this shit. And I'm like, all right, well, let me go check this out. And I'm looking, there's like the one article, then there's another one of, basically him someone just reciting the article. But then you look at that, there's literally a gap of almost about 2 months of just nothing on Golovkin, but the last talks there were Danny Jacobs.
Well,
now,
look,
could that not?
You gotta remember,
Yeah. So
don't question.
I'm gonna tell you something,
because
though.
it came from Tom Loeffler's tweets that he was trying to negotiate for Froch. Hearn confirmed that this was a serious inquiry.
The only reason why this is being taken so seriously on top of that is because Loeffler and them and Eddie Hearn and them, they just got Kell Brook to sign in 48 hours. So
exactly.
If you need to understand that they working nicely together. Like, let's just say, they ain't got no problems amongst each other, and they ain't gonna have no problems getting money together. And the way Golovkin being treated on U.S. soil, look at Jacobs and Canelo. Shit, I'll go mess with Eddie Hearn. Why not? Eddie Hearn is the man right now, man. Shout out to Eddie Hearn.
Oh, definitely. But my thing was
I
just.
think I'm a hater, but I fuck with Eddie Hearn though, cause he get it poppin'.
But my thing is just that probably why wouldn't this just be another business move?
Because we didn't think he was gonna fight Kell Brooks, man. We didn't think that was gonna happen.
I didn't think he was gonna fight.
Yo, listen. I didn't even think he was even in the running.
I didn't think he was doing that. I didn't. He fucked me up with that.
They sideline everybody with that Kell Brooks shit.
Yeah, I was like, Kell Brook. I was like, nah, because Kell Brook don't really help this middleweight supremacy. And I'm like, that's Golovkin pitch right now. So I ain't really seen him coming outside of his pitch, but he did, though. I was wrong.
Exactly. After you done told everybody, Kell Brook is too small, you turn around and it's like, come on, B, you ain't got no integrity at this point. You fuck around and fight fucking John Molina or something. Like, that's how I look at it. Like, anything can happen, man. If Canelo fought Khan, and motherfucking Golovkin fought Brook, who knows what the fuck they're willing to do? Who knows?
I heard Pacquiao versus
Lomachenko,
bro. I heard Pacquiao versus Lomachenko. I ain't gonna lie.
Exactly.
I heard some shit like that. So I don't even know. Like,
Bro, I had a dream Donald Trump became the president. So anything's fucking possible. It was a fucking nightmare.
Oh, shit, man. You woke that came true.
Nah, man. I think I'm.
You woke it because that motherfucker president-elect.
All right.
Shit.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you right now, the shit that fucked everybody up was Golovkin chose to fight Brook. After you saw what Canelo went through for fighting Khan, the criticism that he got for that shit, you turned around and did the same thing. So if you tell me after you done did that, if you tell me that, now they looking at Carl Froch, I'm going to take you seriously. Because you fucking want Kell Brooks, man.
Yeah, you don't give a fuck. You will do that. You'll do it, motherfucker. You'll do it.
Like, I just say that I won't have a full input on it until next week's podcast. And I guess I'll leave everything hanging on that cliff note there. Keep people waiting for the next podcast. And hopefully, maybe we'll have some more detail exactly on what these talks are like. But yeah, we're going to wrap things up here. I'm going to give a big shout out to Ring IQ, best boxing group on Facebook out there right now. And it's an admin by the three gentlemen you're listening to today. And to give a chance to let my fellows give their shout outs in social medias. Evan?
Oh, man, you already know. 22 Bay Boxing on Instagram. Ibn Dawud on Facebook, man. Just come check out Ring IQ. That's where we do all our boxing talk at. Man, what we pushing 6,000? We got about 6,000 members now.
7.
We at 7 right now, close to 8, man.
See, I ain't even right now, man. See, it's starting to take off on me, man. Just come and talk to sport. That's what we do, man. Everybody welcome. You can have your opinion. Just don't be racist, man. And respect fighters, man. And just keep it boxing. That's all. Love the sport.
Jay?
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to all the. I want to give a shout out to George. What he's doing right here is very good work he's doing right here. I also want to give a shout out to Bo Bland, Truth and Facts About Boxing. They on YouTube too. Look them up.
Definitely.
You can visit us and visit me at Ring IQ Boxing Talk. Also here on YouTube. We on Facebook. We all over the place, man. We coming out, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We got accurate predictions. We got knowledgeable members. You know what I'm saying? We got people that are oriented in the sport. So, if you love the sport, you're going to love that page. So you can come holler at us.
A top-notch knowledge boxing folk here, man. Everybody's on this
before I forget real fast, I want to give I'm sorry, guys, but I want to give a quick shout-out to my man Caesar, one of our fellow admin, Caesar Junior Rivas. He just closed camp with Matt Bay Carball. He was down there sparring with Matt Bay, down there at Big Time Boxing down there in Florida. So shout out to Caesar, man. This Matt Bay gave him a black eye. Shit.
Hey, man. Way to go, Cheese.
But Caesar said he on fire right now. He feels sorry for his fault. So,
All right, Cease.
you know, that's the word on the street. That's the word in the gym.
All right, Cease. All right, and you guys know my social media at Georgie Dampeer on Twitter, Georgie Dampeer on YouTube, but you probably already know that, and G.Alé Dampeer on Facebook, G.Alé 6 on Instagram, and share and subscribe. Peace.